going to find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
Say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the round pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn, so there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot to have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Triple Bypass Racing Late Model Series Round 5 here from Bristol Motor Speedway. It is the Central Machine Shop 100 here live on the JPB YouTube channel. Welcome along to Bristol, Virginia. I am Ewan O'Leary alongside Dean Biggles here this evening, and we're looking forward to a very, very interesting round of racing here once again. It's the Late Model Series for the 5th round of the season. To explain the format in the Central Machine Shop 100 here this evening, we've got two 13-lap heats followed by the 100-lap race. That will be our event here for tonight. We're very much looking forward to bringing this one to you. Let's just quickly show you the championship standings before we get going, because as you can see, heat racing is about to begin. Adam Schoen is currently leading the standings by 8 points ahead of Robert Belshore and James Hunnicutt, who are tied in second. Al Curry and Matthew Perricini are tied for fourth as well. Ryan Hyatt is at 14 points back in sixth place ahead of Mark Herzog. Then there's Anthony Speranza, Randy Jeffries and John Campbell, your top 10 in the standings. This is the starting grid for the opening heat, as well as we set the grid for the inside row in the 100-lap race. See Dustin Barton on the front ahead of Hyatt, who we've just spoken about in the championship standings there. Sixth place for Ryan Hyatt. Then there's Schoen and Benson on the next row. Harcombe, Socher, Cooper, Belshore and Crutchley to round out the 9 drivers in this opening heat of the day. As I mentioned, this will set the inside row, the first half of the grid, and then we will have the outside row. We'll have 2 laps under pacing here, so welcome into the broadcast team, Biggles. Welcome in, Biggles. It's good to be alongside you here for what is an absolute bullring of a circuit, it's got to be said. We have been amazed at how short it is, how unique this racetrack is.
It's short and sweet, isn't it? Absolutely. With about 9 and change drivers on the grid, anybody has an opportunity to win from any of these positions. So lots and lots of racing, and the pace car is going to be peeled in, so we're going to see who's going to be getting it all done. And of course, don't forget about our fantastic sponsors. We'll get back to them in a second. But Dustin will be the man, has to hold off the line of cars behind him, of course, the 75, the 79, the 42, the 78, the 121. We'll go through them all. We got plenty of time to do that. Yes, of course, Jan. There we are, my friend. Welcome along. Let's go racing.
Let's go racing indeed. Pace car pulls in. Green flag will wave for the first time in 13 laps in the opening heat of the Central Machine Shop 100 gets underway. It's Barton from the front in the 13, taking the lead in towards turn 1, and we've got door-to-door for second with Hyatt and Schoen there. 2 championship contenders right up there at the moment. Adam Schoen points leader at the moment, ahead of Hyatt, who is battling up high at the moment through 1 and 2 around another lap. This race is going to be exceptionally short, just over 15 seconds per lap around this Bristol Motor Speedway. Hyatt makes his way into second place at the end of lap 2.
Look at this position, getting his losers. Ben's up a couple at the moment here for the 78 machine. Just biding his time, plenty of time to go, of course. No point in taking crazy risks at a short circuit like this one. And they're doing the absolute best that they can. Look at this. It's turn, really. You don't even have to go straight very often in a short circuit like this. There's your tiny little bit of it you have, and then you got to turn back again. Easy peasy at the moment. Well, getting those tyre temperature up, they get your speed in there, but eventually those tyres start coming off the cliff, my friend, and then your car starts getting closer and closer to that wall.
Even in the 100-lap race later on, though, we shouldn't see pit stops throughout this, or not for tyres at least anyway. You don't often see it in the late model series. On board with Ryan Hyatt at the moment. He's looking towards the outside of Barton in towards 1. Now with the runoff of 2, he will send it at the inside of 3 and 4. The 75 on the low side, looking for that move into the lead. And points leader Schoen will just follow on behind and watch him behind. There is, by the way, 3 bonus points for winning a heat here on the line, so it's not an actual points race, it just sort of sets the grid, but you will get bonus points for winning the heat. And Barton at the moment has survived that first attack. He still leads. Now Ben Harkham joining this. This is a 4 or 5 car battle at the front, as there's a big slide in front. Oh no, and a big crash now as well. The 13 gets it all wrong. Barton gets involved as well. Hyatt and Barton into each other. Sean will get them both, and we have a new leader with 5 to go.
Yeah, surprisingly, not even a caution call in that one, actually, so not even much of a replay to show you as to exactly what happened. Pretty much race control over here says game on, race on, no problems.
I mean, yeah, in the heats we won't be seeing any cautions because they're so short. In the proper race we will. Let's have a little look at the replay though. This is a couple of moments ago with Justin Barton. This is when he's already back in the pack, is it? Or is he just catching a lap car? Just gets it wrong himself really, doesn't he? And goes all the way around, noses into the wall and spins around. It's going to be 2 to go at the line, but Barton's going to be very disappointed. He's back in the pit lane now. He'll be starting from the inside of row 9.
Just like that, isn't it? He goes pole-shaped. There it is. Adam leading this one, and from Ben Harkham, and then Jason Benson at the moment here, chasing down. You can see a car on the inside line there. Just exit the pit lane. Dustin actually Barton's in pit road right now.
One to go
flag.
then.
Yeah, there's that. One to go.
White flag in heat 1 of the Central Machine Shop 100. It is going to be points leader Adam Schoen, who adds another 3 points to his tally. He will take the opening heat ahead of Harkham and Benson in your top 3. Hyatt and Socha, your top 5. Belshaw, Cooper, Crutchley, Barton, your 9 drivers, and the official results from the opening heat of the day. So 13 laps of action already complete. We'll have a second heat coming up in a few moments' time before the 100 lap race coming up as well. Since we've gotten to the end of that opening race, let's just take a quick moment to tell you about today's sponsor, which of course is Central Machine Shop. Today's race is brought to you by the Central Machine Shop of Bristol, Virginia. Top quality parts, reasonable prices and on-time deliveries. This has been the foundation of CMS for 35 years. Make sure you check them out in the video description, and we thank them very much for sponsoring the Central Machine Shop 100 here this evening. There are your results from the opening heat. Adam Schoen will be up from the inside of row 1 with Ben Harkham directly behind. Jason Benson, Ryan Harrett and Nick Socha, your top 5. Robert Belshaw in 6th ahead of Brian Cooper, Justin Barton and John Crutchley. The 9 rows on the inside. Now it's time to settle the outside. We'll have a couple of pace laps here, and so I was a bit rushed in the first heat to tell you about the grid. I can be a little bit less rushed and a little bit calmer to tell you that it will be the 19 on the inside of Sid Kashidichian, and then Corey in the 45 on the outside. Campbell and Huyke on row 2 with Harmon and Parker on row 3. Castillo and Jordan 7th and 8th ahead of Speranza, bringing up the rear there in 9th place. Angeli Speranza, 8th place in the point standings, will need an improvement from back there on the back. 1 to go until we go green flag racing though, Biggles, and it's going to be important to at least hold where you are, maybe gain a few positions as well, because this of course will set your qualifying position for the Central Machine Shop 100 in a few moments time, and of course the bonus points will also be important. 3 points for winning one of these heats.
Every single little point counts, especially when it's over and done with before you even blink. That happened in just literally, I think I even had a chance to even open up my eyes, my friend. That's how quickly it's going to be, and that's how quickly this little 12-lap sprint race will be. And I'm saying little because it's a little track. So where's Barney? There's Barney, and we go green, green, green. Let's go racing.
Heat 2 of the afternoon then. It's Keshishan who's going to take the lead in towards turn 1 in the 19. The 45 of Corey just up high. Al Corey with Honeycutt just on the inside in the 76, as you can see, but can't quite do it in towards 3 and 4 on that lap. Very close in towards 1 and 2 as well was the 76 on the inside of Al Corey now. It's James Honeycutt looking for that second position. He won't get it just for the moment, but these opening couple of laps have shown that the top 3 are getting away from the rest of the field in the very opening moments of this second heat of the night.
Trying to take advantage of any of the pace you possibly can, because those laps are clicking down. 11 to go. It'll be 10 to go very soon. 76 machine, you can see right there on the back there of Al. Sid's okay, but he's also breaking the air up the road, which means he's going to give him some more pace. There's Mark lurking in the background a little bit, the 81 machine on John Campbell. But the closest one is this one right now, as you called it there, Ewan. 76 on 45. And they're going to get something soon because Sid's starting to pull away with 9 to go.
Yeah, it looks like the possibility of winning here ahead of Kesterson is diminishing now, with Honeycutt looking for that position on Corey, but it's all about getting to the inside here, really. As you can see, it's difficult to work your way around the outside. These cars are difficult to control on your own anyway, and you won't want to be door to door for too long. So Honeycutt is looking for that chance to get down the inside, but hasn't been able to do that, and now Corey just yet. And now, with 7 to go, they're starting to reel in the 19 slightly.
Yeah, that's because Sid up the road there, the 19 is, going up at the high line. That's going to allow the 76 to sneak on through there, and they're going to slide bump there. The 45 gets a little bit of a tap to remind him, hey, I'm here, we're racing, and we certainly are. 6 to go. Look at the rears starting to slide big time now there, Ewan, and that's actually going to allow Sid a little bit more breathing space after it all of a sudden become under attack.
Well, that was a good pass from Honeycutt, taking advantage of Al Corey just grabbing the wall out of 2. Now Corey going to try and regain that position. Campbell and Harmon are the 2 drivers you can just see further behind. Corey getting very close to the wall off turn 2 as well. It will be at 4 to go then. At the end of this one, you can see these cars getting a little bit looser as the run comes to an end. It's only 13 laps here, of course, for the heat, but it's still absolutely up on the wheel stuff for everyone.
Oh, look at that steering wheel. There's nothing here. You got to turn. The rear starts slippery out a little bit. A little bit of straightness there. Back into it, of course. As you've got John Campbell and Matt that are just lurking in the background. So any mistakes right now. But I have to say, Sid should be okay. It's more of whether or not James can hold on. He can't. He can't hold on. You can see the rear end slipped out a little bit. He's going to drop back just like that. Like a 1929 stock exchange. That's how you're going to drop back. And with 2 to go, I think Sid's looking pretty good. Look at that gap that he has. As long as Sid can just keep that out of the fence. But look at the battle. Alan now has to hold up John, the Aussie, and then Matt Harmon in P4.
Yeah, white flag out then. Final lap of the second heat of the evening. And it looks like it's going to be Sid Kesterson who takes the win. It'll be close for 3rd place. Kesterson will take it then ahead of Corey, and then Campbell just beating Harmon to the line. Jordan, Castillo, Speranza, Parker, Honeycutt. In the end, Honeycutt, from battling for 2nd, drops all the way to 9th at the end of Heat 2, and that sets the outside row for the grid here in the Central Machine Shop 100. Day turns tonight then. The lights are on here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and we will welcome you to the Central Machine Shop 100 with the second heat results. Sid Kesterson just taking that by a second ahead of Al Corey, who held on to 2nd, narrowly ahead of John Campbell and Matt Harmon. Billy Jordan rounded out the top 5 with Adolfo Castillo and Anthony Speranza, and Grant Parker and James Honeycutt, your 9 drivers on the outside row for the Central Machine Shop 100. Well, welcome on to everybody watching here this evening. Good to have you with us. Hope you're enjoying the show. In a short warm-up session now before the 100-lap race here, Biggles, where the real points are going to be dished out here over the course of the main race. Most of these races this season don't have tyre changes. We're expecting that to be the same here at Bristol. And also, caution laps do not count. So there will be, you mentioned it actually in one of the heats, Biggles. We didn't have precautions during those heats, but we will now in this race, and those laps won't count towards the 100. So it'll be a 100 green flag laps over the course of this race. That should be within a fuel window. That should be absolutely fine in that respect. And we'll have double file restarts, of course, as you might expect. But judging by the runs we just saw, we're in for some exciting racing over the course of the race tonight.
You're absolutely right. We are going to be in for some crazy, fun, action-packed racing here at the Triple Bypass Late Models Round 5 at the Bristol Motor Speedway, which essentially is, to me, just a very, very large go-kart track with banking elevation, isn't it? Because it's short and sweet. It's fun. It's absolutely fun. A lot of drivers love it. A lot of drivers fear it too. Why not? Because it's punishing if you get it all wrong. It's rewarding if you get it all right.
Yeah, it's a great circuit to go to watch racing, I've got to say. Really enjoy this. I don't think it'll be too long actually till the real life NASCAR circle rejoins this circuit. I think that race coming maybe in August, is it? September? Can't remember. But that will be under the lights as we are here tonight. Let's take a look at your grid then before we begin the 100 laps of this race. It will be points leader Adam shown on the front ahead of Sid Kesterson. The two heat winners on the front row together. Ben Harkham and Al Corey on row 2 ahead of Jason Benson and John Campbell. Ryan Hyatt will be alongside Matt Harmon on row 4. Nick Socha and Billy Jordan round out the top 10. Robert Belshaw will be 11th ahead of Adolfo Castillo, who will be 12th. And then in 13th, it is Brian Cooper with Andy Speranza looking to improve on that 14th position. Justin Barton and Grant Parker will be on row 8 ahead of John Crutchley and James Honeycutt to round out your 18 drivers. It's a nicely formed field here, Biggles. It's not too many drivers out there for us, which is a good thing, I think. This circuit can get very, very busy very, very quickly, given its exceptionally short nature.
And fun. You forgot the capital F with a U and an N. It's fun. And it's 100 laps of fun, of course, presented by, of course, our sponsor there, the Central Machine Shop. What does Central Machine Shop do again? Just to let everybody know out there, one of our sponsors.
Yeah, let's let everybody know. Central Machine Shop, based out of Bristol, Virginia. Top quality parts, reasonable prices, and on-time deliveries. This has been the foundation of CMS for 35 years. Once again, a big thank you to them for sponsoring this race here this evening on the broadcast, and we're delighted to bring it to you here on the JPB YouTube channel. Triple Bypass Racing once again on the evening. Well, it is in the evenings in Europe, and I guess a little bit earlier in America. But I hope you're enjoying the show, and hope you will enjoy the race here tonight as well. 100 laps up at the top of your screen. We will have one more pace lap before we get things underway. 2 pace laps because the track's so short here at Bristol, and Adam Schoen is going to have to spend this formation lap thinking about how he's going to get this race underway, how he's going to launch away from the field, and hopefully for his sake he's going to control this race from the front. But let's see if it works out like that.
You can see the unbanking elevation at the moment there from Adam's car. You got Sid just to the right hand side of him. There's your pace car, that's going to be peeled out. Look at that. I mean, that's just what the banking elevation feels. You don't see that sensation, do you, of the, like, what are we looking at? 40 or so degrees banking? It has to be, of course, it's a short circuit. Pace car's peeled in, and Barney says, let's go racing.
Let's go racing. The Central Machine Shop 100 is underway from Bristol, and Adam Schoen gets things underway very nicely indeed into turn 1. Sid Kesterson goes pretty wide through 1 and 2 there, allowing Harkham into that second place. That's the 45 of Al Corey and the 42 of Benson to round out your top 5. We're clean and green through the opening lap of this race. We're underway for 100 laps at Bristol.
I suppose that good patience. Good driving from everybody so far, actually. A little bit further back, there's a little bit of action. There's Ryan, there's John. All taking it a little easy right now, and why not? Because you've got 100 laps to go. Take it easy on those tyres. They could be very, very punishing. You saw the rear ends going loosey-goosey, didn't you, there before Ewan? And that's only with a handful of laps. What happens when you get a century of them?
Absolutely. It was quite astonishing, actually, the way these cars were moving around on occasion, as we've got Ben Harkham now looking to the inside. The 78 on the 79, looking to put them into ascending number order. Not quite going to happen at the end of lap 4 for Harkham, but it certainly seems that the top 2 are willing to go a bit harder earlier on in this race than maybe the rest of the field. I think what you were saying earlier about taking things easy in the opening laps is a good call, and likely what a lot of these drivers are actually doing here, but the top 2 are pushing quite hard.
And they are, and they're starting to build a little bit of a gap too. 1.2 seconds down the road there to Sid. Do you think it's a little early to get the overtakes done? Nope. They're going to do a switcheroo. Perhaps work together as well too. Remember bump drafting? Ooh, a little bit of a rear end, a wiggle there for Mr. Ben. You can see for the 78 machine. Definitely, as you come on the inside line, isn't it? The rear just slides scrubs so much speed, doesn't it? Because of the G-force momentum.
It's an astonishing battle between them. The 78 and 79 absolutely door to door again and again. End of lap 8 here at Bristol, and Ben Harkham now finally takes the lead. It took him a very, very long time, but he's now finally managed it ahead of Adam Schoen. And at the end of lap 9, we have a new leader, Ben Harkham, finally in the front, but that took a very, very long time. Passes do tend to take a little while around this circuit because of the nature of it, but that was quite an amazing battle. Ben Harkham now in the lead at the opening 10 laps of this race.
Let's keep an eye out further back. There's a couple of drivers looking at it. Matt Harmon at the moment, the 81 machine, trying to get something done on Ryan, who's also trying to get something done on Mr. Jason Benson up the road there, 42. And at the moment, Sid's trying to break that pack, of course, but Sid's done that before in the past, as we saw Sid in the race. So you're getting a little bit too by yourself there. You're a little lonely on a track where you kind of, well, you don't need that bump drafting as much as you do need, obviously, in the regular super speedways. But here, still, it does make a little bit of a difference. Short laps, of course, 13 down already. So 88 to go, my friend.
And a clean start to this race as well. We're getting towards the end of the heat distance now, at the end of that 13. So we're now into untouched territory as John Crutchley gets down the inside in the 48. That's for 15th, and it's all getting pretty close as Barraza comes back towards Parker and Cooper there. You can see the four of them fighting, and in the background we're going to see Harkham. There is the leading battle again. This is for 4th place. Hyatt and Benson side by side. It's going to be Hyatt who takes the place on the inside line, and Jason Benson in the 42 who slips back to 5th.
Sid still maintaining that little lonely 3rd place position. Nothing's happening between the top two. They're still saying exactly, well, they are, because Ben actually gained a couple of positions, but still from this race. But this is it. So what's going to happen here is Jason, Benson, and Matt going to do something. We have Brian's gone into pit road already, so that's very, very interesting. Brian Cooper, you can see in the 96 machine, running front last. Maybe just like to take a little bit of an alternative pit stop and see how it pans out and drop him a couple of laps. But then again, everybody's going to drop some laps, taking early pit stops around here without a caution.
You certainly do. Drop at least 2, I would say. Well, maybe at least 2 is a bit dramatic, but it's probably around there. Let's see. Sparazza's already a lap down, by the way, and Parker will be soon as well. This is where the problem comes in for the likes of Harkham, who is leading this race at the moment, just ahead of Adam Schoen, who's been caught up in a bit of traffic here, I've got to say. This is the view from battle for 3rd as Ryan Hyatt sends it down the inside of the 19. They're looking at lap traffic as well. It's all getting very loose for everyone. Parker also now a lap down up on the high side, trying to stay out of everyone's way, trying to control his own car at this stage as well. It's a very, very difficult balancing act, but this circuit is going to feel very, very busy all of a sudden now, with lap cars and lead lap cars all fighting for the same bit of track.
It's massive, isn't it? Just like that. Then you got to find somewhere to kind of get out of people's way. And that's Sid. So Sid's kind of coming back. They're taking it to Sid. Look at this. Now the 80 machine's going to get. They're going to get 3 abreast here.
Oh.
You can't really. You can try it, but good luck, boys. Who's wall riding up at the top there?
Yeah, that was
That was yes, Raza. Of course, he's trying to get out of the way completely. And wall riding. Of course, further in the background, you got Billy Jordan here on Al Corey, and there's contact. There's the 45, and that's Al Corey.
And now we'll have our first caution. Surely,
Yeah.
There we go. Caution comes out, and there's even further spins out of turn 4. It's all a lot of contact, and at the first quarter of the race we see our first caution. It was bound to happen at some point with the lap traffic. James Hunnicutt, not for the first time today, involved in an incident. Let's see just how it happened.
This one with Nick. I don't think Nick was involved in this one. There it is. We saw the 45 go around. We caught that live, and that's just the Constantino effect, isn't it?
Yeah, so Hunnicutt was actually slowing for the incident, I think, and got rear-ended by someone. So that's how you saw the 76 ending up in the inside wall. But the 1-2-1 was kind of an innocent bystander there. Adolfo Castillo was the one down the inside of Al Corey. There's the contact. There's the part that brings out the caution. And there's Hunnicutt, kind of an unfortunate bystander in all of that in the end. So the caution will waive, and actually both of those drivers have gone a lap down as a result. You just saw the 78 race leader going through there, putting a lap on these drivers.
Maybe taking those pit stops earlier would have been a nice gamble at the moment to do. We'll see. There is Dustin. He's going to go into pit road. Somehow make your way in the pit road there, Dustin. There it is.
I'm not sure how he actually received damage there. But of course, Dustin, one of the co-founders of Triple Bypass Racing League, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes. He's in the pit lane at the moment. Laps not ticking on, or won't be ticking on, by the way, based on what I was told earlier on about the caution laps. They won't count towards the 100. But Ben Harkham will still lead here. I believe he has had the chance to come in to the pit lane now, but hasn't decided to take it. And we will have a double file restart as well when that rolls around. But yeah, for now he's just got to sit behind his car and think about how he's going to manage that. I'm not sure exactly what the 83 is doing down there on the apron, to be honest.
No, I don't know though. But there is, the 83 machine you mentioned, and he's just, he's probably waiting for a call up from the safety car, the pace car, to say go through. There, so he's got the call up. So there he is. It's showing him a P1, but he's now going to be dropping back behind. So it will be Ben that will be a net lead of this race for the 78 machine. As the timing tower will definitely sort itself out in a minute. Don't trust me, it will. It's just very difficult because it has a short lap to try to sort it all out, of course. They need to head their way down to the central machine shop, don't they? In Bristol, Virginia, to sort their tuning out. I think maybe the iRacing overlays need to be down to the central machine shop for a tune-up.
Yeah, we'll have an updated order for you when we go back green again, but as you can see on the left-hand side, it's just showing that we're under caution for the moment. I can tell you that it's the 78 followed by the 79 in the lead of this one. And Harkham ahead of Adam Schoen, 1 and 2 in this race right now. Then there's Ryan Hyatt, who's in the 75 ahead of Sid Christensen in the 19. Now we're forming up 2 by 2 though, Biggles. The lights are off and we should be going back racing soon.
Yep, hopefully the leaderboard will sort itself out at this moment. You have to say, Sid did a pretty good job. Most of those drivers have done a pretty good job of hanging in there. I was just wondering, who was the driver that had boxed really earlier as well? Was that Brian Cooper? I can't remember who was the one. Big accident, of course, that collected a couple of the other drivers, but they always say, if you're racing at the front of the grid there, Ewan, you don't have to worry about crashing into people that crash ahead of you, do you? Because you're leading. So it's the best place to be.
That is one of the big advantages. Let's go back green flag racing then. 23 laps down in the Central Machine Shop 100, and we're back to green at Bristol Motor Speedway. Ben Harkham taking the lead with Ryan Hyatt slotting into second. Adam Schoen pushed back to third on this restart.
There it is, right there. It goes by quickly, and it will. Now, see what's going to pan out for the rest of the field here. Get an idea of those pit stops and all that sort of jazz. You don't have to worry about that. 25 of 100, so we're getting there. 76 to go. Nobody's going to risk it for the biscuit just yet there, Ewan. I think we're going to just wait for those tyres to get up the temperature and then just kind of have a feel it out there and see how the car pans out for a couple of laps, and then perhaps seize an opportunity.
Absolutely. Still just a quarter of the way through, end of 26 now. Harkham still at the front. We did see Harkham and Schoen quite a long way ahead of the rest of the field actually in that first run, but now everyone a bit closer. Ryan Hyatt's involved along with Matt Harmon as well, who's in the 81, 4th place, and then Sid Christensen, who's actually taking things quite smoothly so far, hasn't done anything too flashy. As we go further back to the fights that are going on back here, it's Nick Socher making his way through on, I think, Cooper, finding himself in the outside wall, a couple of laps down at the moment, but still 16 cars on the lead lap here with a very good chance of getting a fantastic result from this race.
Let's have a look at Adam staring at the back there of Ryan Hyatt's gearbox there. Ryan's gained 5 positions in this race so far. Ben leading this race. Ben Harkham has gained 2, but it's still early days to be saying you're looking good, because you're only looking good across the finishing line more than anything. As you can see, the cars are really wiggling all around. That's what I'm more concerned about. We have a yellow. We have a caution.
We do.
Let's have a look what's happened here. Grant, I believe, either involved or somewhere along the line. That's going to be, where's Grant? Let's look at the 43 machine. Ooh.
Oh,
that's
no,
the 48,
the
and the 48 went to the 83, right?
Yeah, 48 and 83.
Yeah, this is
big
it.
Contact there.
So
Castillo again down the inside this time. This time he gets turned actually. And 48 with big contact. Castillo, I think that'll be the end of his day. Escapes on pit lane, toes back to pit lane, excuse me. But it was John Crutchley, in my opinion, who turned across the 83 here.
I was going to say, look at that. Boom. From his perspective, where do you go? You're just a passenger.
Well, that's going to be a few repairs for some of the drivers now, and we may well have significantly less than 16 on the lead lap after all of that, but this is now going to be the danger at Bristol, because that green flag run was only, 7 laps, half of the heat race distance, and now we could have quite an interrupted race. Of course, it has to be 100 green flag laps here today, and so these caution laps won't count towards the total, and if we continue to have caution after caution, it's going to be pretty frustrating for some of the leaders who are not involved in it, and Ben Carcombe, who in particular, who has to do a lot of restarts here. This will be his second restart of the day.
And poor Ewan as well too. Look at his watch going. I'm going to be at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning my time locally before I get to bed if this is going to continue like this. I don't think it will, my friend, but they do say safety cars breed safety cars. So, you know, when you bunch everybody up, it tends to happen. But they've been getting a few laps on their belt. I've seen worse. Trust me,
Yeah,
a lot worse.
exactly,
Especially
yeah.
a short circuit like this too, my friend, where they really wiggle it out, coming out off a high banking into a corner. You see everybody getting their tail out. I don't think there's been some pretty good driving. It's just tiny little moments that happens.
I still think that we're early enough in the race that people will take things kind of cautiously on this restart here, and we can maybe settle into another green flag run. I know the same could maybe be said for that first restart we just had, and where it clearly didn't happen. But yeah, I still think we're early enough in the race to get a nice green flag run, at least knock off a few more of these laps before things get extra dramatic towards the end here in the Central Machine Shop 100 at Bristol. Pace car lights still on, so we'll have at least one more lap here under caution before we get our second restart underway. What about Ryan Hyatt though? A good restart from him on that first time around. He started at third, now second. Wonder if he can challenge for the lead maybe on this second restart.
The concentration on the wheel at the moment, as he's got it just banked in, keeping the revs right. He knows that Ben Harcombe, the 78 machine, has been a challenger for him. He's got the likes, of course, there of Adam and a few of the other drivers that are tailed up behind him. He's going to be thinking backwards as he's going to be thinking forwards. I would still keep a very, very sharp eye out there for Sid, my friend. I think Sid's just been patiently waiting, has lucky to avoid. You can't miss that 19 machine with the big eyes on the front of it. I would be looking out for Mr. Sid as a wild card, really.
Yeah,
just
I've
later on
the
the
way
race.
he's driven. He's driven well so
He's got
far.
the pace too, remember? So I mean, he's probably
exactly.
happy to sit back here at the moment and just chillax and see it all pans out. Well, once again, we're going to see how it pans out. Barney's going to see how it pans out. It's going to go green, green, green. There we go. Racing again.
Green flag waves with 70 to go here at Bristol. Ryan Hyatt was on the offensive last restart. It's Adam Schoen on Hyatt this time. And the 79 will get back into that second position, although the 75 giving it a good run round the outside. The maybe outside line starting to come into effect a little bit more here at Bristol now as we race under the lights this evening. It's up high again for Hyatt, and he will take on second place. So for the first time we've seen the driver starting in second. It was Kesterson who wasn't able to do it off of the original start. On the first restart, Adam Schoen wasn't able to hold on to second, but Ryan Hyatt, the first driver to hang on to that place on the high side.
So it's the usual suspects back up here again, but this time around you've got Matt taking on the inside there of Sid. So we kind of expect, so that John Campbell's lurking in the background, the only Aussie driver on the grid, of course, the 117 machine. John, I got you back, my friend, from Melbourne, Australia. And he's got the, I think that livery is not from an Australian brand, but there he is. There he is, John. But then again, look at this, battle for the lead at the moment. So there it is, Ryan wants to take it from Ben. Ben's going to hold off as much as he can, doesn't need to. But he is the furniture row, I think that's written on the front of that car.
It's a very similar livery to what Martin Truex Jr. used to have back in the day when he used to drive a 78 car in the Cup Series. Inspired by that, what's becoming a bit of a retro livery, although I can remember it when it was being used seriously, so let's steer away from that. Ben Harcombe still holding on to the lead here. Brian Hyatt giving him a real run for his money, and this is possibly the fiercest battle we've seen for the lead so far. Adam Schoen was willing to let Harcombe overtake him a little bit earlier on. He wasn't willing to fight him so hard, but these two both want to lead very badly as we approach lap 40. We approach half distance as well, actually. Battle for the leads just being ramped up slightly. The intensity here just being turned up.
Got to keep an eye on the midfield as well, too. You got Jason Benson there. You got Dustin Barton. 6 positions gain here for the Canadian driver. You know the Canadian driver on the grid there because you can see that is the red and white driver. You can't miss him, the number 13 machine. The sole Canadian on the grid. 6 positions gained, doing a great job there. He's got Billy on his tailpipe. Further up, he's got Jason and Robert right here trying to bring it for the 44 machine. So they're all going. We've got 42. Remember Jason Benson. We've seen him a few times in the wall. But we'll go back to this battle. Still bringing it the lead of this race. And so far, Ben Harcum is still kind of hanging in there a little bit. You've got a 1-something seconds and change gap there to Adam. 79 machine running a P3.
Yeah, they're getting away from the rest of the field. End of lap 42 coming up here now. Well, Ben Harcum, who has led quite a lot of the laps now of the Central Machine Shop 100 this evening. Ryan Hyatt trying to overtake him behind. This is Matt Harmon really close to Adam Schoen, their points leader. Sat in third, showing why he is the points leader. The consistency he's shown so far this season has got him up there. He's well ahead of the likes of Robert Belshaw down in 7th in the race right now, despite being 2nd in the point standings. Honeycutt 3rd in the point standings, but all the way down in 15th in this race right now. For example, Al Curry is outside the top 10 as well, despite being up there. It's really a view as to how Adam Schoen is able to lead these standings because of the consistency he shows week after week. Maybe a little bit better than some of the others, although doesn't quite have the pace of the leaders right now. Hanging on to 3rd, just ahead of Matt Harmon behind in the 81.
Oh, lap cars coming in play at the moment too, so they're going to have to switch in reverse positions. So Ben and Ryan still at it. You can tell Ryan really wants it. Ben's holding off so well. Ben's just like, you're not finding a way around me, my friend. Whatever it takes. Look at the rear angle slide out of the corners that they're doing. Now they're coming up lap traffic as well too, so it's going to be an opportunity, I think, for Ryan right now to see something here if he wants to get it. But almost right now, my friend, a couple laps to go and we're halfway through this race.
These cars are so cool to watch. They look fantastic. They seem fun to drive as well. I haven't actually driven them in iRacing before, but they seem fun to drive. They're great to watch, and they're providing the entertainment right now in the Triple Bypass Racing lead. Central Machine Shop 100 here from Bristol. It's Ryan Hyatt trying to take the lead away from Harcum. You can see in the black and orange 78 at the front, the white 75 of Ryan Hyatt trying to take this one away, and we go on board with him as they get into a bit of lap traffic here on lap 49.
Them holding on. Hold on tight. Hold on tight as much as you possibly can, and don't veer off. He's got a nice toe ride. It's perfect, but then you got to remember, he's got to wonder, what's Ben going to do? How's Ben going to approach these couple of lap cars at the moment? This is great racing. This is why we want to see green, green, green as much as we can, because when you get these lap cars into play, look at that stadium sold out here for the Triple Bypass. Lap 51, halfway through here, going for it too for now. And now Ryan has to make a decision, doesn't he? Because once they start coming up to this, we have a caution.
Just on the half distance mark, just 50 laps complete in this race now, and the caution flies. But Anthony Speranza, the first driver, 1 lap down. It was going wrong from very early on in that corner, gets into the apron, goes around and into the wall. Not good news for the driver of the number 80, who is 8th in the point standings coming into this race, 25 points away from the points lead. He will have quite some repairs to do, and he will probably remain a lap or 2 down. Just get ahead of that pace car there, and he does. So he'll stay only 1 lap down, but damage repairs will keep him multiple laps down, you would imagine. So that gives Ben Harcum a bit of a break, because Ryan Hyatt was giving him a real hard time there.
It was. And it's unfortunate. It's just a one solo driver accident too from Anthony. Just a little mistake. Thankfully, didn't collect anybody else. So, this is one of the little pet hates. The one little pet hates that I'm just gonna say it out there. James does it all the time, right? With blue flags and things like that. I'm just like, unfortunately, the simulator of iRacing says, okay, there's a crash, right? So, bang, we'll deem a yellow. But a crash like that, where it doesn't involve any other cars and all the cars are all the way through, should be green. To me, should be green.
Well,
because, we don't have to worry about, tractors coming out on track there and reviewing drivers and picking bits and pieces off the cars and stuff. it's a solo accident, so it should be just go. It should be green, but
I know what you mean, but after all, this is oval racing, and this is kind of how it works in this form of racing. It's different to
but we're copying
road
real
racing.
life. We don't need to.
Yeah, I think in real life, if that happened, it would be a caution.
Yeah, they have to, but because there's probably bits and pieces of the car all over the track. I'm just saying, like in the virtual world, we have the opportunity of changing a little bit and saying that. Anyway, I just feel that caution itself could have just been green. But then again, you know, the sim has to dictate how do you determine that. The AI intelligence in the sim is not that clever to figure that out just yet. But anyway, it does spice things up. We do have another caution because I would love another 10 or so 20 laps at least, even go to the end on that one with those two racing. And no fault to the driver. I just made a little mistake by himself, but didn't collect the whole pack, did it?
This is going to be my point, actually, that I think we're going to get this battle resumed, really, between Harcum and Hyatt once again. We've crossed the halfway mark in this race now. The intensity is just going to be ramped up slightly, and they were having a fantastic battle. They were starting to work their way through a bit of traffic, and it was very, very intense indeed. Ryan Hyatt looks very, very strong here. Looks like he can battle his way through a field as well, which is not always easy to do. You sometimes get cars that, you know, are very good when you're in clean air, but as soon as you find yourself in traffic, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble. Hyatt doesn't seem to have that issue. He seems to be able to apply that pressure to the race leader, and he'll have another chance to do so at the end of this lap because we'll be going back green.
Yeah, I know. And what an amazing job Ben has done, is that Ben has been holding him off tooth and nail. So you're definitely seeing a showdown, aren't you? Not here in the Wild West, but you're seeing a showdown. Once again, still keep an eye on a couple of those drivers in the background, because if it all goes pole-shaped, you know what can happen. 51 of 100, so plenty of laps to go. As you'd mentioned, and people are sitting there going, hang on, weren't we at 51 out of 100 just before? Well, just exactly what Ewan mentioned. We don't count these yellows as race laps, so. But we do count green flags, and we're going racing again, Ewan.
We are indeed, lap 52. And Hyatt immediately chops in front of Adam Schoen to make sure he holds on to second place. Harmon on the outside looking for that third in the 81, but can't do anything about that, and Adam Schoen will slot into third. So with 48 to go, Harcum holds on to the lead, and Ryan Hyatt is immediately going to set his sights on that lead.
Brilliant. Let's just listen to those cars for a little bit as they file in. You can see the rear end slip out a little bit, and that's to be expected. But then won't have those lap cars again.
Here we go. Here we go. The 75 on the inside of 1 and 2. And now Ryan Hyatt will take the lead surely than the 75. The intensity just ramped up that one more notch now. Harcum on the outside in the 78 with a long way round. It's going to be difficult for him to hang on. It's so close on the exit of 2, and they will remain door to door at the end of another lap.
Listen to this racing.
Oh,
you love it. You enjoy it. This is why Bristol's one of the best motor speedways you're going to get. It's not a super speedway because you've got to get it done short and sweet. 56 of 100 already. And they're still going for it tooth and nail, aren't they? And now you've got this two-way fight, aren't you? And down into Adams coming into play just further in the background there. Now you got Matt. Now you got John. Remember the Aussie, the Thunder from Down Under. You got Sid, that I said, a little bit of a wild card. Look out for that 19 Canadian driver in the background. Sorry, that's not the Canadian driver. That's Dustin further back. But anyway, we are about to start 58 now. So 43 to go.
absolutely. And what a pass that was for Brian Hyatt to slide straight in front of Harcum and take this lead before the lap 60 mark, side by side here for 8th place with Al Curry on the inside of Benson in the 42, who just swings wide. The 720 of Jordan will be looking at the inside as well. Some very high lines here, up right next to the wall actually, for the 42 and the 13 of Barton. You can just see watching from behind, but we're about to complete another lap. 40 to go at the end of this one.
Up between these drivers as well, too, look at that. Look at the liveries too, very, very similar. So they're 42. It's almost like playing with Play-Doh, isn't it? You got blue, red. Sorry, you got blue, yellow, and red. 48 in the background. We'll go back up to the top of the timesheets. There's Justin, there's Dustin, Jansen. God, I'm all wrong. Forget about that one. It's up to you, Ewan, to get it all correctly at this moment. But Ryan has got this lead at the moment, and if anything, look at this. Adam and Ben are at 2 for now, and don't you forget about this old Matt star in the background there, and the 51 machine. Sorry, the 81 machine. Need some glasses. I'm wearing glasses.
Watching from behind. Adam Schoen, though, on the inside now of the 78, and this is going to help Ryan Hyatt out in the lead. Bit of a slide, bit loose up high for the 78 of Harkham. Just slip back slightly, and now the caution comes out. Adam Schoen will just have his nose in front, and he will take second ahead of Ben Harkham, who drops to third in that run.
And Ryan will still like to either go on that. And it's Billy. I think it's might be another solo crash. It's similar to Billy Jordan. That's the 720 machine. We're just looking at them just before on the inside line there. And that's just a little bit of a tap, but no problem to his own. There it is, a solo collision. And once again, it's going to come back to my little pet hate of what's happened here. Because nobody else has been involved in this accident. And now we've got another caution.
Say that, I think the 48 may have tipped Billy Jordan into that spin.
Oh,
Not
let's
Billy
have
Joel,
a look
of
then.
course.
Yeah, you might be
Wonder if we'll
right.
start
Let's go
singing
back
on the piano after
and slow that one down. Let's have a look at the rear of Billy here, right? Because this is where mentioned. So I think Billy gets a little loosey-goosey. We're about quarter speed here. This is the cause of the latest caution.
You may be right as well, actually. Jordan may get loose here, which may get the 48 closer. You can see from the way the car's behaving. So he saved it at this point. Then it's sort of going again and going and going. It might have been gone anyway, but the 48 made absolutely sure.
Yeah. I just think he got a little loosey-goosey, and then the speed difference coming out of that one has caused it. But then again, not a marshal, and this all happens at a quarter speed that we're looking at too, my friend. Okay, and you're not driving it at full speed. That's a little bit different.
It certainly is. And it's difficult to react, isn't it? When you see someone spinning in front of you like that, you're on the banking. It's very difficult to slow down off the exit of that as you're applying the power. These cars obviously not designed to slow down when they're already offloaded, coming through a corner like that. So it's very, very difficult for someone like John Crutchley in that situation there to avoid a sliding car in front of you.
Now, how you fix it, my friend? Go to the Central Machine Shop if you want to call that one out for us as well. Where are they located? How do you fix your car if you get a little bit loosey-goosey?
A big thank you to them for sponsoring today's race, the Central Machine Shop from Bristol, Virginia. Remind you under caution that you can check them out. There'll be a YouTube description as well, by the way. But yes, you can check them out. Of course, top quality parts, reasonable prices, and on-time deliveries for that kind of thing. So make sure you check them out, and thank them for sponsoring this race. The Central Machine Shop 100 here from Bristol, entering its final third now, and I'm sure we'll be getting that restart very shortly.
Matt's out there saying, "Looking good, guys. I wish I was there." He clipped the apron and loosey-goosey, I guess he's saying there from Matt. Thank you very much for that, Matt. I wish you were here too, Matt. I hope to see you in the next race. How you doing, by the way, too, Matt? Hope you're enjoying yourself.
Should co-commentate with us, shouldn't he, with a comment like that?
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Matt's out
Just
there immediately.
Just putting his 2 cents in about the spin there for Billy Jordan, about that's brought out this fourth caution of the day. But
that's a racing driver.
Well,
you said so, didn't you? Though you were like, I don't really race too much around these cars in the air. But then again, Matt's coming there, go, "We clip your apron, mate. Come on, it's easy peasy." I'm like, I have no idea. Ewan's a great race driver as well. Ewan has casted a million, zillion, trillion races, so he knows a lot more stuff than I do. So as drivers, I can just tell you what I see on pictures, but as drivers, well, you guys get all the nitty-gritties to know exactly what happens, and I appreciate you tuning in there. So give us a like and subscribe and all that. Hit the bells up there and support the league as well, to all the information and the sponsors, of course. Pace cars in. Let's go racing again. 64 of 100.
Yeah, 36 to go at Bristol, and it's another good start for Ryan Hyatt, this time from the front. How is Harkham going to deal with being on the outside? Being in second place has been a bit of a curse so far today, apart from when Hyatt has been in that position. Driver in second has always slipped back to at least third, and Harkham's got to make sure that he doesn't slip any further. Adam Schoen gets up to second, with Harmon on the inside for third in the 81. You can get a glimpse of him on the left-hand side there. Ben Harkham going to have to try and slide in front of him at some point, but it's not going to be possible. 81 on the inside, not going to give in here, is
Oh.
Harmon on Harcombe. It's not confusing at all. Side by side for third here between the two of them. Absolutely door to door.
I got confused on that one a few times before, didn't I? Look out for John Campbell there in the 1-1. The double 11-17 machine there, and I told you about Sid. Keep an eye out for Sid in the background there. But more importantly, these two are going for it too for now. Ryan's got another nice launch there. They're starting to catch up and bunch up to each other again. You can see they're just up the road there, but this is more where the heat zone, the hot zone is currently at the moment. I love it. This track is short and sweet. 69 of 100, my friend. About to be 70. 32 to go.
Not many laps remaining. Still absolutely door to door. We've been racing for approaching 10 laps, and for pretty much all of those 10. It's been door to door for third. A bit of a slide up the track though from Harmon in the 81, and now Harkin will be able to get down low. That took a very, very long time, but finally that key inside line has been grabbed and seized by the 78, and the battles can focus behind. Sid Kesterton has been sitting back all day long, and now he seems to be flexing his muscles round the outside of Campbell. Now he's up the high side of Harmon as well.
He took the high line, and that's the dangerous line sometimes. Otherwise, it can be very, very beneficial. He's gone for a 2 for now. Look at this. He's going for it. He can make it stick on the outside. That's trusting in your tyres, trusting in your driving. He'll scrub a bit of speed off here. The 81 on the inside. Look out for John Campbell on the outside. Ryan's still leading this one up 6 positions. But this is definitely where you need to look right now. He still has Adam in his tailpipe. There's a bunch of cars behind there, all performing 2 for now, trying to do the best. You got Rick here a little bit back, Robert. Al Corey. Plenty. Ryan, here we go. So there's the top 2. There's Ryan. There's Adam. And then the battle back further is here. So I don't know where you want to put the camera, how you want to put the camera, when and why. There's contact.
Contact.
That's Al.
Wow.
I think it's Al.
Save.
No, it's not. Good save.
Robert Belshaw, maybe.
I think it was Robert. You're absolutely 100% on that one, my friend. Got it right.
44 in the grey, as you can see now, with the Honeycutt right below him. The 76 recovering really after that heat incident earlier on. That was Speranza, by the way, one of the damaged cars. 6 laps down now, just getting out the way of everybody else. 25 to go though, and this battle for the lead is absolutely on. Ryan Hyatt holds it, but Adam Schoen finally is getting going in this race. It's taken him a little bit of time, it has to be said, to actually get going, but I think he's just been taking things calmly, and then he's turned the intensity up right at the end, right when it matters in the final quarter of the race. The points lead is absolutely here and challenging for the win.
Once again, coming up to lap cars soon. Look at this, riding on board with Adam Schoen. Look at the difference.
Sorry, Campbell has dropped, and he's gone to the pit lane. That's why he's dropping so far down, I think. Not sure how it's happened, unfortunately, but there's been real battling back here. Once again with Kesterton and Harkin. The 19 of Sid Kesterton, who's played this really well, and at the very end of the race he could be in the top 3 here in a moment.
Further back, look at this. Dustin and Matt at it 2 for now. I'm telling you about keep an eye out for Sid. Look at that, because Sid's working on this one. He's working. The Sid machine, the 19 on the 78 in the background. Yes, exactly. Ryan, once again, they're still going for a 2 for now. They're up the road just by a few seconds and change. Good to go. 20 to go more than anything, my friend. Hopefully we get green to the end. And we didn't, unfortunately. I did curse it. There's a yellow, but I don't even see any race control information as to what caused that yellow. Well, here it is. Maybe this is it for Robert. There it is.
Oh, that definitely is it. Oh dear. The 81 involved, Belshaw as well, who was making good progress actually towards the end, but there's some more damaged cars to bring out the 5th caution of the night.
I'm just wondering in slow-mo, something happened a little bit before that one. Fortunately, couldn't capture that one as it needs to be. But there it is. As Matt says, I'm great. Wish I could have gone for the row of the series, but I'm out of town and away from the sim. Oh, where are you at the moment too, Matt? Let us know, please. Are you on vacation, holidays, work?
Well, yeah, find out. But good to have his insight from the YouTube chat anyway. And hello to anyone else watching here this evening from Bristol Motor Speedway. There's a scenic shot of the stadium, which this really is, Biggles. It's unlike many things in motorsport where you kind of see one part of the circuit, there's a small grandstand, maybe you might have to sit on the grass or whatever. Bristol Motor Speedway, it's like you're at a hockey game or a football game or any sort of field game, I guess, if you like. It's very, very unique.
Great casters' minds think alike, don't they, my friend? I was just about to say, it feels like you're in one of those massive football stadiums that you have there in the UK, right? Watching some of the football clubs play, or even in Europe. So we do have a couple of drivers going into pit road too, my friend. So yeah, exactly. So let's see how that pans out. Are they taking the final, yes, the very last pit stops that they'll be taking for this evening?
There is one fast repair, by the way, and that's what those two drivers, Beauchamp, will have just used. Jason Benson will likely have to use it as well. Let's see if they have to exit the pit lane here
John
as well.
Campbell taking one? I think he was involved in that one too, was he? Oh.
He was involved in an earlier incident. Okay. He didn't bring out the caution, but he was involved in an earlier incident, yeah.
There we have it. At the moment, working. All right, mate. Yep, we've got to work, don't we? Got to make the cash somehow. The Last Great Coliseum, they call this. Didn't realize it was called the Last Great Coliseum, but I just realized it is now. Fifth caution, which isn't too bad considering this track bunches people back up, and it will be bunching people back up again for another triple bypass race of the season, round 5 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And how can you join this fantastic league, my friend? Don't you think it's all in the description above or below us, isn't it? Just click the little show more.
Yeah, click show more. Click on the link to the Discord channel where it says join Triple Bypass Racing. You can get in the Discord and you can get access to all of the chats. Lots of racing going on throughout the week. Not all of it broadcasted by us, of course, but all of it for you to enjoy. The late model series, the Gen 4 series with the relatively new cars that have come out, the Next Gen Cup series as well. It's all here for you. And so, yeah, if over racing especially is your type of thing, then Triple Bypass Racing is certainly the place to be, and you can join in the YouTube description, as we say. Final, well, is it going to be the final restart? Let's see if I've spoken too soon. Fifth caution anyway, and fifth restart as well. The green flag is in hand. All the blood rushing out of Barney's hand there as well, as it seems. The green flag will be waving now, though. 19 to go here at Bristol. It's Ryan Hyatt who will take the lead here. Sid Kesselsen looking for second on the inside of Adam Shun.
Telling you, my friend, I'm telling you, keep an eye out for Sid. Keep an eye out for Sid. I said there was a dark horse in here. Well, he's called the banana horse. He's the yellow horse, and he's got the biggest eyes on the planet there. He's got his eye on you. He's got his eye on the race win with 18 to go, perhaps, because he's got 79 and 75 to disperse of. He doesn't like the 70s, and he doesn't like the Sientes. He likes the 9 and the 9, but I didn't want to get one of that one. I'll bring it up puns in that one. But look out for Ben. Remember Ben before? Ben Harcombe can't get it delivered. He was holding off. He's gone with a twirly-wally out of that corner too. It's going to be big pressure from Al now. He should take the inside line, the 45 machine. As defensive as Ben can be, Al's going to put up a pressure. Ben got a great exit on the high line.
It's been a smart race from Al Curry, hasn't it, to get up into 4th place now. He's been quite quiet, actually, which is probably a good thing if we're featuring you on our broadcast quite often. And maybe it means you're in a bit too much trouble, or indeed you're in the lead, which neither of which may be a good idea. Corey on the inside now, though, 78 right up high next to the wall, and it's allowing everyone to catch up behind. Barton right involved there in the 13, you can see, looking for a way through, but you don't want to make it 3 wide around here.
Well, you can try. You could try. I'm quite sure luck will be with you. Great racing. The leaders are still pretty much where you can see on the scoreboard at the moment, so they're not that super close. This is where the action is right now, and it is definitely the action to be.
Yeah, Harcombe's up very high at the moment. Al Curry's up to 3rd. Barton coming through as well. Curry even having to defend from the 13. 78 is going to benefit from them two slowing each other down and run right round the outside and maybe even get back into this battle a little bit. Still running right round the outside. Side by side for all 8 of the laps so far we've seen in this restart. With 11 to go now, it's nearly side by side for the lead. Look at Adam Shun trying to take this one away.
Gotta go for it now. You got 11 to go. It goes really quickly here. You blink and it's done. 15-second lap times. So here it is. challenge for the lead. Adam, Ryan, and keep an eye out for Sid in the background. I'm not quite sure if Corey, if anybody else could do it, Dustin, but here it is. Here it is right now, live, 10 to go. What do you think? The thumbs up, thumbs down. Give us your predictions.
Adam Shun is not a points leader for no reason. And with 9 to go, he takes the lead. Has conserved his tyres pretty well throughout the day. But he's got the lead now. Oh no! Contact! Sid Kesterson gets to the inside of Ryan Hyatt now, who just puts it into the wall. There's more contact. Huge crash for Kesterson, and he's hit again and again and again. And that's Belshaw, who's just been clipped by him as well. The 19 driver has conserved his tyres so well all day long. He was starting to challenge for the lead, and unfortunately has crashed out of the Central Machines 100 with a huge crash at Bristol, and this is how it happened.
And crashed my wishes of Sid taking this one as a dark horse. So what has pulled up here? There was earlier, wasn't it? Before they tapped, Sid had to take the inside opportunity there. 75, of course, was sitting on the same line that you want to be doing for Ryan, and then bang, like that, bingo, it's all over. And at that point,
Corey,
when you crash and you're in the top 3, everybody else is a passenger.
Al Curry there was the first to make contact, then the 48 of John Crutchley, then another driver, then Belshaw's clipped, and he goes into the wall in the grey car there, you can see. Oh, what a shame for Sid Kesterson. We were really, really enjoying the way he was driving this race. Yeah, he needs damage repair.
So can Adam take this one now? 9 to go. That's going to be the key, isn't it? Now he's got Al.
Where's the pace car?
Yeah, it's crashed too, my friend.
Oh, there it is. Why is it behind them?
It'll allow. They'll slow down to allow it through.
That's bizarre, but
it's
there we are.
Barney's brother, remember? Bernard.
Bernard. So yeah, it will be 8 laps to go when we get to the line. Then it's maybe 7 to go. But anyway, won't be very many. The intensity going to be turned right up, and yeah, such a real shame for Kesterson. But what on earth is going to happen on this restart now? Given we've seen what we have done on that most recent one, now what is this race going to do? As we look again at what caused it, Ryan Hyatt was initially tipped into the wall by the 19, and then I don't know if it was an intentional. I don't think it was, but there was definite contact through 3 and 4. And this is the view from the 19.
Hits the marbles,
just how much of an idea he had about it.
Dang. Yeah. I think I'm not quite sure if Sid went for a gap that wasn't quite there too soon. That's a difficult thing. I mean, maybe he had that little motivation boost from the Biggles here, just going, come on, Sid, you can win this one. You're my dark horse. Hopefully that's not the motivation that Sid had, because Sid already had enough motivation. But either way, he was going for gold on that one, and it didn't quite pay off. But, if gap car, you try it. So that's Sid's chances of taking this one out. He's down to P15 in the pit road. But it'll actually allow what do we have? Round 2 again, isn't it? Adam and Ryan. The only difference is right now, my friend, the big difference is you got Al here, and then look out for the Canadian Maple. So I was going to Maple Leaf, isn't it? Yeah, the hometown.
Yes. Yeah, Dustin Barton there, 4th place on the outside.
Co-founder here, so you can't miss the red and white. He has a possibility of getting something done too, because you'd have to say anybody really in the top 4, top 5 in a shootout towards the end of a race in a speedway has an opportunity of winning a race, don't you?
Yeah.
Seen it before.
We do. We absolutely have. I'm trying to see whether the pace car lights are off here. I thought I saw them off, but they can't be because we're... we are going back green flag racing. We are single file restarting in the final 10 laps, and with 8 to go, we're back underway at Bristol. A few out of the race now, unfortunately, with damage. Although we do have still 14 on the lead lap. It's Adam Shun from the front. He's going to try and take these final 8 laps and absolutely run with them. Try and take this race win home.
If you get a good exit and keep it up that momentum, he'll have no problems whatsoever to save 7 and go. A short lap like this shouldn't be an issue because that slipstream won't come into play. More than anything, it's up for grabs who wants the P2 and who wants the P3. He's got Al here battling it out with Corey. That's battling it out for the final podium position. And who's on the top of the wall?
Oh no, Hyatt was involved, and then there's more contact on the back straight. I think the 78 was the one mainly involved. It was Hyatt who kicked it all off by going slightly off course. And with 5 to go, we're under our 7th caution of the night.
Let's have a look at this. So it was further up the field then, because he was. Yeah, it was.
Hyatt. And then Corey was the one spinning around. 78 gets involved. Honeycutt spins him around, but pretty much by accident. Another 2 pile in. Oh, so many involved. Kesselton in more contacts. The 42 as well. I think that's John Campbell again.
I had to find Hyatt here. This is Ryan, right? Here it is.
Yep.
So let's have a look.
So
he's running in
how did he get this so wrong?
P2, and then the rear must completely go out on him here. He's gone straight on, look.
Front. Yeah, the rear's not coming around there.
He's not
the
even
front is
turning.
just not turning in.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. So either that or there's been some sort of like technical issue or something with the car, and his unit's disconnected or something like that. All of a sudden he's just like bang, because you would. I don't know if we can actually see the driver in the car too. So we'll go back and have a look at that one. Actually, that's a good idea, because I am just curious. I do have to switch the drivers because this is throwing a little bit pearl-shaped on me. But let's have a look at Ryan, right? So we want to go on board, and we want to see Ryan's steering here, right? So this is the point where it just goes straight. Look, he's turning.
He's still turning. It's not happening.
No.
It's just not happening for him.
No. It's going straight on.
Into the wall.
You have damage from before, though. Weird.
Yeah, I think so. And then, as he's trying to control the car, comes across on Curry and Botton, actually. They both go spinning around, and then the chaos happens down the back straight. And lots of drivers involved. See if Hyatt comes in here. I think he has been into the pit lane now, hasn't he? Because he's dropped way back, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah, pit stop has been made from him there. The pace car will stay out once again. But Adam Schoen going to be forced to make another restart now from the front.
I didn't even see Hyatt actually on. God, they're Ryan's down in P9 currently at the moment, so that's where he's rejoined. It'll sort itself out, but in a second. But because that scoring board's gone through the roof, as it sorts itself out, 5 to go.
We've had our answer, by the way, from Matt Parasini.
Yeah.
Hyatt looks like he's blown a right front tyre.
That would make sense.
Tyre, which would make a lot of sense. Although I didn't know that was actually possible, so it's good to hear that it is. And that's likely what happened.
I think there's going to give a little bit more breathing space there for Adam, just to hold off now for a little bit longer, or do you not like the fact that Mr. James here, Honeycutt, has, cut his way through 16 positions in the 76 machine to get P2?
Well, it's been an impressive drive, actually, from Honeycutt, who stayed out of trouble for the most part after his heat troubles. But yeah, maybe he can challenge for the lead. I think Adam Schoen's race to lose is what we can say from these final 5 laps, which is what it will be. The pace car lights are off, but it's not decided to come in. Excuse me, we're on the back straight, which is exactly why, not on the front straight. Yes, Adam Schoen is going to be in control of the field. James Honeycutt with a bit of a chance to take this win away from him, and it would be a fantastic drive from the 76 driver to take this one away from Schoen, but I think the odds are stacked against him. The 79 hits it from the front, and it's going to be 5 to go at Bristol with Schoen, Honeycutt, Crutchley, your top 3. A very different look to the front of the field now after the incidents of the last few laps.
Great launch. Perfect launch that he needed to do. Look at that, almost half a second gap already. Now we'll lose a scrub a bit of speed here at the moment. James is going to hunt him down. James in P2 at the moment. Big time. Look at the exit speed he's got. This is it, 4 to go. We're going to keep our eyes peeled on this one. James Honeycutt has got 16 positions gain here. Adam's got it on pole. Can Adam hold it off here for 3 to go?
This could be the race now. James Honeycutt's been nowhere all day. He's been gaining places one after one. But now with 2.5 to go, he's got a chance at taking the Central Machine Shop 100. 2 to go from Bristol. Schoen holds on to the front for the moment. He's got just a couple more times around this bull ring of a track to win this one for the first time this season and become the 4th different winner in 5 rounds. out over the line one more time. It's the white flag here at Bristol. 1 to go. Honeycutt behind. Needs to be a bit closer than this ideally. Into 3 and 4. He's going to throw everything at this, but it's not to be. Points leader Adam Schoen is going to take his first win of the season and win the Central Machine Shop 100 from Bristol.
Wow, amazing. He held off and he done it perfectly. Held off a massive attack towards the end there. James Honeycutt will get that P2. 16 positions gained there. And John Crutchley, the no NOJ, will get that P3 position. 14 positions gained there. Sid, my pick. Well, after that little bit of a moment, switcheroo there. But then again, there is Adam. And why not, Adam? We need some burnouts from you, my friend. What a drive. What a brilliant drive. Look at that. You deserve it, my friend. Absolutely brilliant. Clutch victory.
Certainly did. He made great speed in the opening moments while not taking too much out of his tyres. Clearly was taking things a little bit easier than maybe he could have done, but was also making sure that the tyres were staying in working order. And then when it really came down to it, he struck, and he had to survive a late attack there from Honeycutt, who was really putting a lot of pressure on him at the end of that race there.
Speaking of race results should be up there on your screen right now as we speak about it.
Let's have a look. Adam Schoen beats James Honeycutt to the line only just by 0.3 of a second from Bristol. John Crutchley inside the top 3 here ahead of Sid Keston, who recovers to 4th despite a late crash. Nick Socha inside the top 5 at the end. Justin Botton and Al Curry make late repairs to their cars to finish 6th and 7th. Brian Cooper 8th ahead of Ryan Hyatt, who dropped to 9th late on, with Ben Harkham, who led quite a lot of this race, finishing only 10th. John Campbell 11th from Australia ahead of Robert Belshaw in the 44, who got caught up in at least 3 of those late cautions. Grant Parker was 13th ahead of Jason Benson, the final driver on the lead lap. Anthony Speranza had some repairs to make throughout that race and finished 5 laps down. Matt Harmon in the end wouldn't see the checkered flag, finishing 10 laps down. Billy Jordan 22 laps down, and Adolfo Castillo, who was involved in the first 2 cautions of the day, finishing 72 laps down. Well, it's safe to say, Biggles, that the Triple Bypass Racing Late Model Series didn't disappoint here tonight from Bristol. A fantastic race, a great ending to that one, but Adam Schoen, the winner, the championship leader now, with a race win finally to go with his points lead as well.
Yeah, it's what you need to get one. Rack it up on the season here in round 5, and they've done that one. Great delivery, great recovery by Sid. Nice run. And thank you very much, Matt, out there. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you'll be back there. Of course, well, all the other drivers will be tuning into this one later because they get to see themselves back on the big screen in the middle of the stadium and on the big pitches. Not sure if we're getting any driver interviews or any of that sort of jazz there, Ewan, before we...
I'm not sure. We don't have an actual waiting room for people to sit and wait. So I'm not entirely sure whether we're going to hear from any drivers here this evening. But just a final word, Biggles, on what's been a fantastic race here. The first time I've seen late models racing, not seen, but commentated at least on late models racing. It's I think the first time you commentated on a race at Bristol as well. It's been a very enjoyable experience, has to be said.
Absolutely. They've been here before in these cars. I even cast these cars around this track, but I'll tell you what, certainly entertaining, wasn't it? The cautions, probably a little bit less than what I expected, so very, very good driving. 18 or so of these gladiators have braved it out, hasn't it? Grilled it out in this exciting arena. That's what they call it, the last great Coliseum, isn't it? The United States for the Triple Bypass has produced. You've produced, my friend. You want to wrap it up there, Ewan? And we'll see everybody have a good night.
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much to everybody who's been tuned in here this evening to the Triple Bypass Racing Late Models Series Round 5 here, the Central Machine Shop 100 from Bristol Motor Speedway. I very much hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you check out the Central Machine Shop here and thank them for sponsoring this event here this evening. It's been great to have them along. Next week will be Round 6 of the Late Models Series. It will be at Hickory for 215 laps. We thought this was a short circuit. Have a look at Hickory Motor Speedway, located in North Carolina, not too far from Bristol Motor Speedway, actually here, just in the very corner on the border between Tennessee and Virginia. Make sure you go and check out that race as well. 215 laps around there coming up next week. So, make sure you join the Discord in the YouTube description. Make sure you join these guys in on the racing, because it's absolutely fantastic, as they've just demonstrated. But we'll be signing off for the night here on the JPB YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bells to let you know when the next Triple Bypass Racing broadcast is coming up, because they are very, very regular on this channel indeed. So we look forward to bringing you the next one, and of course all the other racing that goes on throughout the week. For now though, we'll sign off. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside Dean Biggles here this evening, and until we see you again soon at the Triple Bypass Racing League, it's goodbye for now.